You are listening to How to Get Over Your Ex, episode number 189. I should be happy on my own. Welcome to How to Get Over Your Ex, a podcast on getting over your ex without it just taking time. I'm your host, breakup coach Dorothy. Let's turn your pain into power and your heartbreak into happy. Hello, beautiful brave hearts. How is everyone doing? I just wanted to say as a friendly reminder that today, May 22nd, we are starting Self-Love Week. Come hang out with me and some other brave hearts. We're going to do 4 days, and in those 4 days, we're going to go from lost to loved. I want to help you find yourself and fall madly in love with yourself. Falling in love is one of the best feelings ever, and I want you to learn how to have that experience with yourself. Not only to feel good, but also to enjoy your life more and eventually have better relationships, not only now, but also in your future. You can join us for free using the link in the show notes. All right, Bravehearts, I'm really excited to talk today about being happy on your own. This is something that I hear and coach on so often. And of course, in standard Dorothy style, I'm probably going to say something you've never heard before and have an extremely different take on this topic than most other breakup coaches, now that that's more of a thing, or just people in general, and what you might have already heard on this topic. Now, this all began because I was coaching an amazing soul inside of the Get Over Your Ex program. And she was really talking about worth and self-love and enoughness. And she was really struggling because she wants to be in a relationship, but she kept telling herself she needs to be happy on her own first. And she should be happy on her own and be okay with being alone for the rest of her life. And she felt like she needed to get on board with being alone for the rest of her life. She needed to find acceptance around that to then bring in the partner. And here's the thing. Just because you should be happy on your own doesn't mean that you don't want a partner or that you shouldn't want or desire a partner at the same time. And just because you should be happy on your own doesn't mean you have to be happy all of the time on your own. Just like in your relationship, you're going to have a 50-50 experience even when you're single. Life is 50% negative, 50% positive, always, period. Whether you're in a relationship or not, whether you have a job or not, whether you live in the US or the UK, it doesn't matter your circumstances, you will always experience 50% negative emotions and 50% positive emotions. Sometimes we think if I was in a relationship right now, I wouldn't be feeling lonely, sad, and defeated. And the truth is, maybe you wouldn't be feeling those specific negative emotions. However, you totally could be, but you will experience other negative emotions. We won't ever get to a place in our life where we're so rock solid about who we are that we won't experience negative emotions. You could feel really rock solid about who you are and still experience negative emotions. And I think that's kind of crazy to think about when we're talking about being happy on our own. For so long, I kind of kept thinking if I do this self-help stuff long enough, I'm going to get to an end point where I get to live my life and everything is great 100% of the time. And that hasn't happened. So maybe you are happy on your own. You are just having thoughts and feelings right now in this given moment while you're still on your own, because thoughts create feelings, right? So sometimes you're single and you're going to have thoughts that create negative emotions. That doesn't mean that you're not happy on your own. And sometimes you'll have thoughts that create positive emotions. And the same thing's going to happen in your relationship. You're going to have waves of negative thoughts and feelings and waves of positive thoughts and feelings. And I think that when we say I should be happy on my own, we think that, oh my gosh, if I'm not happy on my own right now in this given moment, it means I'm never happy on my own. Getting to a point where you're okay on your own does not mean never feeling a negative emotion again. It also does not mean not wanting your authentic desires in life. Saying I should be happy on my own is like saying I should be happy on my own before starting my breakup coaching business. I should be happy on my own before I choose to help someone. I should be happy on my own before I create a podcast. I should get okay with never having my breakup business so that I know I'm happy without it. And trust me, y'all, I really get the idea behind this. I am the queen of non-attachment. And yes, I don't want you to feel attached to needing a partner, but that is different than saying I should be happy on my own. You don't have to drop the desire for the ultimate outcome of what you want, aka being in a partnership. If you want a partnership, let yourself desire that. Not from a place of attachment of I need a partnership to be happy, but from a place of non-attachment and knowing that you will have it. Not from a place of getting okay with never having it. I think those things are very different, okay? So what's the solution? The solution to me is simple. Learn to have emotional maturity. For those of you who are new, who aren't familiar with this terminology, it simply means to take responsibility for how you feel. Know that it's your thoughts that create your feelings, not what other people say or do. When my partner tells me he loves me, I don't feel love because he said that. I feel love because of the thoughts I have about him saying those words. He could say that to you and you'd be like, who are you? You'd have very different thoughts and feelings about the same exact circumstance. So learn to manage and process your emotions while at the same time allowing yourself to want a relationship. Know that you are happy on your own sometimes. Your life is 50-50, and during that 50-50 experience, you can also want to be in a relationship. Give yourself permission to want and desire a relationship if that is your authentic desire for you. And maybe instead of saying, I should be happy on my own, it's more about, I'm happy on my own and I desire to be in a relationship. I'm learning emotional maturity and I desire to be in a relationship. Okay, so here are some very specific steps. Step 1, just stop telling yourself you should be happy on your own. Shoulding around anything leads to feeling shame. And when we feel shame, it perpetuates not being happy on your own because you're just beating yourself up, you're talking negatively about yourself, and you're mean to yourself. Of course, you're not happy on your own. And that's perpetuating the problem. Step 2, learn emotional maturity. Thoughts create feelings. Your happiness depends on the quality of your thinking. Those optional stories you tell yourself. You'll be happy when you're telling yourself happy thoughts, and you won't be when you aren't telling yourself happy thoughts. With that being said, we don't want to be happy all the time, even when you're single. Okay, so don't expect yourself to be happy all the time. And that really leads me to step 3, which is embrace the 50-50 experience. Being happy on your own doesn't mean I'm happy all of the time. Okay, and step 4, give yourself permission to want and desire a relationship at the same time as learning to be happy on your own. We do not have to get on board with just never having a relationship ever in your life. That's just taking it all the way to an extreme. I desire to be in a relationship and I'm happy on my own. Those two things can live together. They are not mutually exclusive. Commit to creating that result for yourself if that is an authentic desire for you. All right, my brave hearts. Yes, you don't need a relationship to be happy, but you can want and desire a relationship while also being happy on your own. They are not mutually exclusive. And please, please, please remember that life is 50-50. So you will be happy on your own and sad. You'll be happy in a relationship and sad. In a relationship, no relationship, you're going to feel that 50-50 experience. So during that 50-50 experience, want what you want. Want a relationship if you want a relationship, okay? I love you, my brave hearts. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe to the How to Get Over Your Ex podcast for more episodes like this. And if you found any of our episodes helpful, we would really love a written review on the Apple Podcast app to help other heartbroken humans turn their pain into power and their heartbreak into happy. If you're loving the How to Get Over Your Ex podcast and you want to learn how to get over your ex in 3 months or less to build a life better than the one you thought you had with your ex, I would like to personally invite you to my next group course where we take everything you've learned here on the podcast and apply it to your life. Come check it out at www.lifecoachdorothy.com.